Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. And now, celebrating 15 years of broadcasting, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, whether you're tuning in on the radio dial here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM or through WYADonline.com. We're glad you all could be with us. Also, those joining us through our online affiliates, we're glad that you all could tune in as well. I'm excited to welcome Tommy Lanham to our program today. He's making his first appearance on our program. Now, Tommy and I actually met because of a mutual friend named Evan Carmichael, who's been a regular on our program. We're going to talk to Tommy not only about how he was introduced to Evan Carmichael and the Believe Nation, but also what it's been like for him to believe in his own abilities, to be able to inspire others, and also the great things he has coming up this year as well. Tommy, hello to you, and welcome to the program.
Hello, Cyrus, and thank you. I appreciate the invitation to be on your show.
Oh, the pleasure is definitely all mine. We're going to talk more about Evan a little bit later, Tommy, but because it is your first time on with us, I definitely want to talk about you. I mean, one of the ways I've been able to stay connected with you since we were first connected, of course, has been through social media, namely on Instagram. What has it been like for you, Tommy, to be able to build your own platform and to see the way that people are supporting you?
Well, it's just amazing to be able to reach people with my message. I believe everybody has a message, everybody has a story, everybody has something that they could share that benefits others. And I have been able to use social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, are kind of the three main ones that I use to be able to share my message of the power of enthusiasm. And I refer to those that are often there, that are a part of the tribe, if you want to use that word, as the community of fellow enthusiasts.
Yeah. So I guess an obvious question would be for you then, Tommy, how you found the enthusiasm for yourself. I mean, there's enough in life that we could dwell on that could definitely take our joy and, of course, be able to curb our enthusiasm, to take, a term from television. How have you been able to not only to discover what it is that you're enthusiastic about, but also then to pursue it?
I think there's several things you could do to discover what I call your enthusiasm zone. And if you look at the whole person, I believe the whole person is made up of four parts. There's the physical side, the emotional side, the mental side, and the spiritual side. Most of my material, my teachings come from a Christian background. So I like to emphasize that spiritual side in there as well. And if you can get all four of those in alignment, I believe that's where you find your enthusiasm zone. If your performance, your actions, the things that you are doing, is in alignment with your passion, those things that you are passionate about, those things that you love to talk about, those things that wake you up early in the morning and keep you up late at night, if you can align those two with your personality, the way that you are wired, because we are all different. I teach a presentation called Embrace Your Weird. We're all weird, and instead of trying to avoid that or become like everybody else, we need to embrace that, and that is where we find our I'm working on a thing now looking at our unique superpower. I believe that's where we find our unique superpower, is in our uniqueness, our weirdness. And then if you align that with your purpose, and your purpose is bigger than you are. It's more than just about you. It's more than just about your business. It's about the difference that you're making in the world. So if you can get in alignment, your performance, your passion, your personality, and your purpose, you can find your enthusiasm zone. And many things in life will try to distract you from that. Enthusiasm is deeper than just excitement. Excitement has to do with what is outside of you. You can even see that in the word exit, excitement. It's those things that are outside of you that stir up that emotion. Enthusiasm, you can hear in the first part of that word, it's in. It's what is inside of you. And so that's tougher to break than excitement. Excitement can come and go. Enthusiasm is more stable once you understand what your enthusiasm zone is. And I say all that to answer your question, what keeps me enthused in the midst of everything that tries to rob that? And it's that. It's keeping in alignment my performance, my passion, my personality, and my purpose.
There are people who may be hearing that, Tommy, though, who will say, I believe I know what that thing is for myself. But there are, people who will have, unfortunately, detractors around them that will try to steal that enthusiasm from them. And sometimes people look at their own circumstances and say, there's no way I can be able to achieve these things. You made a post on Instagram, Tommy, on March 31st, 2017, and it asked a question: what makes you feel totally alive? Is that one of the questions that you have people consider as you're talking with them about ways that they can be able then to ignite their enthusiasm?
Absolutely. You've got to tie into that. You've got to tie into what makes you fully alive, again, and that is in direct connection with finding that enthusiasm zone. And that enthusiasm, I am not trying to communicate, or I'm not insinuating by any stretch of the imagination that we're always on this huge emotional high and everything is just at 100% all the time, because we have things in life, sometimes things that just kind of trip us up, sometimes we have things that just completely knock us down. And there are those moments when that enthusiasm may be low, but I believe it's that little bit of enthusiasm that we can hold on to that will help bring us up out of that. And that's what I try to do in my life. I try to remember when things bring me down, when I am betrayed by people, when people trip me up, when people look at me and go, what are you doing? That's stupid. Get a 9-to-5 job like everybody else so you can save up for retirement. When those kinds of experiences take place in my life, sometimes I listen and I go, well, maybe they're right. And then I got to remind myself of what I'm here for. I'm here to live in that enthusiasm zone. And I have to reconnect with that. It's not always a snap. Sometimes it is. Sometimes I remind myself of that and boom, I'm right back on top. Other times it's a process of kind of realigning, because those 4 areas get out of alignment a lot when we're not taking daily action that's in connection with our passion and our personality and our purpose. Sometimes we got to realign that, and sometimes that's a process. So yeah, are you doing those things that make you fully alive? And that ties right in with your enthusiasm zone. How are you wired? How are you keeping those 4 areas of your life in alignment?
And I think those are all questions we have to ask ourselves. For those who are just tuning in, either on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. We're excited to welcome Tommy Lanham to our program today. Tommy's talking with us not only about what he's been able to do in being able to find his own path, but also what it's been like for him to inspire other people, to encourage them online. He's able to share his enthusiasm tips. As you can tell, that's a big part of his journey. Now, you even talk about, even in the bio on Instagram on your page, Tommy, using the power of enthusiasm, and you say there to help you climb to your God-given potential. I think that's a great segue to Evan Carmichael, who is an individual who's all about, of course, belief and helping people to be able to be their best selves and believing in themselves and moving forward. How were you discovered? How did you discover Evan initially?
Well, back in 2016, I was fired from a job. I was a youth minister at a church. I was actually a part-time youth minister while I was working on my speaking and coaching business. And I was there for about a year, and they let me go. And I was over at the room where we do our youth meetings and stuff, and I was just kind of cleaning up at the end of that. I was mopping the floors, making sure everything was nice as I kind of exited the ministry there. And they've got a TV in there, and I'm always listening to motivational stuff, informational, educational, that type of stuff. So I searched for a Zig Ziglar video on there that I could listen to while I was cleaning. And it's really hard for me to find a Zig Ziglar video I had not seen before, because I have immersed myself in Zig Ziglar's teachings. But I came across a video. It said The 10 Rules of Success by Zig Ziglar. And so I clicked on it, like I've never seen this before. I clicked on that. It was about a 20 to 30-minute video. I watched that and listened to it as I was cleaning. And then when it was over, I noticed on the alongside other videos that had the same font, the same format and everything, and it was top 10 list of all these other people that have been influences in my life. There was John Maxwell and Brian Tracy and all these guys, and I noticed they were put up there by Evan Carmichael. And so I started getting interested in Evan Carmichael. I started looking up more of his stuff. I found out he had a book out called Your One Word. I bought the book. I read the book, and then later on I went through it with my team. We went through it together, and it just began to it gave me a whole new look on how these things can work. I've always been an advocate of having a personal purpose statement, a one-sentence statement that kind of gives you direction and guidance in life, but I never thought about condensing that down to a single word, and that's what Evan does in his book, Your One Word, and so I went through that process, and my one word is enthusiasm. And so from that, I just began to get connected with Evan. We connected online. I did a couple of reviews of his books because I read his other book as well, The Top 10 Rules for Success. I did a online thing on YouTube for both of his books, a review for that. We become connected, and then eventually I ended up going to his conference that he holds up in Toronto this past May, and got to meet him personally. He's a great guy. Not only is he great in business and teaching entrepreneurs how to build their business, but he's just a great guy to hang around as well. And so I don't know if you wanted the story that long or not, but that's how I come to know who Evan Carmichael is, and I've just continued to get more and more into his teachings.
So how has being a part of the Believe Nation, Tommy, how has that helped to keep you motivated? Because I think one of the big things about Evan is it's not just about his own success, but rallying those around him, keeping those energized around him. How has that helped you to know, of course, as you mentioned, you have your own team, but how has being a part of this group helped you to kind of stay focused and to stay ready?
Well, the focus aspect of it, I would have to give a lot of credit to his book, Your One Word, and what he goes, kind of the first half of the book is discovering your one word, and the second half of the book is building your business around that one word. And that's just helped me fine-tune that focus. And then also just his message of believing in yourself, also believing in what it is I do. And when I get discouraged, which every entrepreneur will know, there are times you get discouraged, and maybe even times you think, this isn't for me, I need to do something else, I need a 9-to-5er. But that message that Evan portrays in his videos and in his books kind of motivates me to step up out of that. And of course, Evan shares, some of his struggles as he was building his business as well, and you think, if he can do it, I can do it, and if these others you hear stories of can do it, then I can do it, and it just helps me to step back up and say, okay, I've fallen, I've messed up, I've been discouraged, that's okay. Learn from it, get up, and continue to believe in yourself and what it is you're doing.
Right. So we have to talk about the what's next. I mean, I know that there's a lot that's going on with you as you're headed into the second half of this year, Tommy, but what are some of the things our audience should be on the lookout for?
Well, I am working on another book. We're kind of in the final stages of this book that's going to be coming out in late July. We're aiming for July 20th, and it's called Never Settle for Here. And really it's chapters about kind of looking at your situation, where you are, whether you feel like a failure or even if you feel like a success, but never settling for here. You can celebrate those successes, but don't settle for them. There used to be a country music singer by the name of Waylon Jennings, And I heard an interview with him one time after he had just released a new album. And the interviewer asked him, says, "Are you satisfied with this album?" And he thought for a second, and he said, "No." And then he explained himself. He goes, "If I ever become satisfied with my music, then I'm done. I'm finished. There's nowhere to go from there." And so even though you could celebrate your victories, what you've accomplished, don't settle for that. Begin to look for that next mountain. Begin to look for that next goal. Where are you going to go from here? Never settle for here, because you've always got a there waiting on you.
It's a great reminder for us, for sure. Again, everyone, Tommy Lanham has been our guest for this segment. We've been talking with him not only about his own journey, but what it's been like for him to be enthusiastic about life and how he's been able to help other people to ignite their enthusiasm in their own lives, and, of course, what's been the result of that. So, Tommy, let our audience know, how can they stay connected with you?
Well, you can stay connected with me through my website, which, simple enough, is TommyLanham.com. It's got all my contact info on there, my phone number, my email. Again, my email is TommyLanham@TommyLanham.com. That's pretty simple enough as well. They could connect with me on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. I do have a Facebook group called the Community of Fellow Enthusiasts. They get a little extra than what just the general Facebook crowd does. And so if they want to connect with me through that, they can do that as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, Tommy, congratulations to you. Glad we were able to have this chat, and looking forward to our next conversation together.
Absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity.
Hey, glad to do it. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. If you all came in late, you missed part of the conversation with Tommy, don't worry. Thanks to our online friends, you all can catch the replay right after we go off the air. The link is already available through our social media sites. So head over to Facebook.com/Cyrus Webb or go to Twitter.com/Cyrus Webb. If you click on the link there, you can listen to the show completely for free and share with your friends from there too. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Make sure you take out time to enjoy some good music as well as a great book. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Let's make it a great one.